Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with our Reiki Master and Teacher, Fatima Dajani. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
Hi, Jill. I'm fine, thank you. Everything's great. It's snowing here. I don't know what the weather's like your end.
Oh, beautiful. So you are bright in white, and it's the snow that's white too. You got this aura about you today. It's beautiful. By the way, we're live on Zoom as well. So I'm looking at her beautiful white sweater. Gorgeous. Well, no, today we are actually in the high 30s. So I know I can't transfer to Celsius Fahrenheit, but not cold enough. It was this morning, but no snow yet. We're waiting.
You're waiting. It'll come. No doubt.
North of us in the city, there's some flakes today. That's about it. But awesome. Beautiful. So for those that may not know you yet, would you mind just giving us an introduction as to who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Tima. I'm a Reiki Master Teacher. Been doing this for a long time. Love helping people, love chatting with people, love talking about Reiki. So it's really amazing to be here and be chatting with you. And so Reiki helps people in so many ways. I see it every day. I love it, and it's wonderful. So I'm so happy to share information about Reiki.
Awesome. I know that's our topic for the day, clearly, because Reiki, well, just a general definition for new listeners out there. Explain to us what Reiki is to start, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, well, Reiki is a universal force life energy. It's an energy of love. It's transmitted through the hands, and you can do distance Reiki or hands-on Reiki. You can do both. So the person who wishes to receive the Reiki can get the Reiki and benefit from it, even if they're living on the other side of the world. They do not have to be in the same space or place as me. And it's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. It's very far reaching because you can reach people across the world. Literally, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, and you also say that Reiki is different for different people. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. Because I think because everybody expects something different and wants something different. So Reiki is very, very adaptable. It's the beauty of Reiki, right? There's no right, there's no wrong. Like I was reading an article the other day about how there isn't like a Reiki police like standing on top of the practitioners, like you're doing it wrong, you're doing it right, because there really isn't a right or wrong. It's each practitioner has their own way of doing it, and each recipient has their own way of receiving it. So I've spoken previously about how some people will laugh hysterically or some people will cry hysterically. So each person will get it in a different way. For the practitioners, it's amazing because some people, they just do hands-on Reiki and that's it. It's simple. It's, you just do the healing and it's wonderful and people benefit. Some people do channeling. Some people do forms of therapy, forms of counseling. There's so many, forms that Reiki can take really. So it's so interesting. So it doesn't always have to be just about placing the hands on somebody's, on somebody's body or like aura or whatever, and healing them. It can also go into deeper things. So I just wanted to point that out, that every practitioner has their own way of doing it.
So it's like different strokes for different folks. I'm trying to think of yes. And clearly virtual works just as good as in person, just to establish that. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. It really does. Yeah. And there's no Reiki healer that's better than another. I've said that, so many times. So you just have to find the right Reiki healer for you, the right person that works for you. Because people's energies work in different ways with each other. It's like how you like some people, you don't like others. So, it's just the way the world goes. So keep on, if you're interested in Reiki, if you keep on going and find somebody that you feel you have that connection with, and I'm sure that you'll benefit once you do.
Awesome. And there's multiple benefits to Reiki. We talked about this before, but just again, want to go over some of the benefits. Could you share some of those before we get into using maybe Reiki as therapy?
So yeah, sure. So Reiki is beneficial on so many levels. So you can heal your aches and pains. You can heal, minor life troubles, things that are bothering you. But you can also actually, if you use Reiki every day, you can actually kind of stop illness from developing, like kind of stop it in its tracks, right? There's no, people will say, well, where's the scientific proof? Where's the, where's the science behind this? It's not a science, it's a faith belief system. So you have to kind of, believe it, but it does work. And people who consistently use it, consistently, receive Reiki treatments, they see a big difference in their lives. So it can help in anything, in aches and pains, like I said, marriage problems, problems with children, pets, babies, pregnancy, childbirth, on and on and on and on, end of life, transitioning. So many things that you can use Reiki with and that people will benefit from. So the list is endless. I could go on and on and on.
Perfect. Now,
Yeah.
so do people use Reiki as therapy? I mean, it's similar
They
to a
do.
therapy. How would you
It
explain that?
is. It is. I mean, obviously, before any of our sessions, I don't know I can't speak for other Reiki practitioners, but I will have people
Mm-hmm.
sign a paper saying, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not your psychiatrist. So, it's kind of like a little disclaimer. I'm just here to help you in any way that I can. I'm not claiming to be something that I'm not. But people love to talk. People love to share. People enjoy talking about how they feel, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you find it very hard to talk about the people closest to you, even your best friends, about how you're really feeling. Sometimes it's kind of better to talk about these things with a professional or with somebody that you're very, very comfortable with, but who isn't a friend or who isn't a family member, because I feel that you kind of open up a little bit more. So that's kind of like how I roll with my Reiki treatments. So I'll do the Reiki energy, I'll do the Reiki treatment, and I'll do that for a while. But then what I kind of do is I stop the treatment at a certain point, and I'll dedicate the rest of the session to just talking to people about how the Reiki made them feel, what feelings surfaced during the Reiki, what issues did it bring up, is there anything that they want to talk about, that they want to discuss. And it's amazing because they'll talk for like a solid 45 minutes after that, because it brings up a lot of emotions and just feelings that you have inside. And I think that it's wonderful when you're able to just air your grievances or your feelings or whatever it is, and just talk to somebody about it, and then get a different perspective from somebody who doesn't know you so well, maybe, or who isn't part of your circle, and a fresh set of eyes. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah. And by the way, how long have you been doing this for, if you don't mind sharing?
I've been doing this for almost 25 years, basically. I mean,
you don't look
it's been
old
a while.
enough to be doing this for 25 years. I can't believe that.
Oh my
Seriously.
God, you're so kind. You're so kind.
It is so true,
while.
though. I'm not lying. You could feel if I'm lying. I'm sure you can feel my energy. It's so true. You look like you're 20 something. So that doesn't make sense, but okay.
Oh, thank you. It's so sweet.
You're welcome. Does Reiki does Reiki help you not age? That might be a dumb question. But there's something to be said, because I never met you in person, but I'm like, yeah, you look super young. So what are you doing?
Thank you. Well, actually, Reiki practitioners in general do look pretty young. I have to say, my Reiki master, she's in her 70s. If I showed you a picture of her, you'd be like, really? She looks like she's in her 50s, I would say.
Okay.
Beautiful lady, beautiful skin. She says it's the Reiki. She says the Reiki keeps me young. I do this Reiki every single day, and it gives me good energy, makes everything nice in my life. And she claims that it's the Reiki. So for her, it's working. I can tell you that 100%. So yeah, I see it. I see it with a lot of the Reiki practitioners, that they have this inner glow, which is nice.
You are going to make me Google that later. Like, I Google everything. Yeah. I'm going to say, I wonder if there's like something online about that this energy.
There probably is.
You bet you Google somebody, too, okay?
Yeah, there's probably somebody out there who's written an article about, Reiki and like glowing skin or something. I don't know. There's articles about everything out there. So there you go. Wow.
All right. Do you want to add anything else to the kind of Reiki and therapy conversation before we move on?
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's just great to be able to talk to people and to share and to be able to hear people's stories. And I always say that it's it's a good thing that I have a memory like a goldfish, because no fear that I'm ever going to retain your stories. What happens is that actually it's almost like channeled through me. So the stories that are told to me and the energy that's given to me, it's not my own, so I don't retain it. Right? It's not mine to keep. So people will unload to me, tell me their stories, and then it's just kind of taken away because it's not mine to keep. But it's wonderful that I'm able to help people on that level. I find that people leave and they feel lighter. I hear that a lot. People are like, "Oh my God, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much better. I feel like I've lost weight almost because you've taken like such a load off of me. And so yeah, so it is very therapeutic in its own way. I mean, whatever form of Reiki you choose to give, I feel would be therapeutic and good for the person. But it's great to talk. I guess you may or may not have noticed I love to talk. So and I like to listen as well. So there you
Well,
have it.
that's good. Those are the best types of communicators, because some do just
Yeah.
talk, especially in my business, talk, but they don't want to listen.
Right.
All right. So let's talk a little about Reiki and letting go.
Right. So I think I spoke previously about how you have to kind of like let Reiki kind of flow and let it do its thing and work its magic.
Let it go. Let it
Yeah, let
go.
it go.
I don't sing,
Literally,
but you know that
literally.
song,
It's like,
right? Okay.
yeah, of course. And it's true, kind of let it go, because Reiki goes where it needs to go. So I'm a little bit of a control freak. I like to be in control of my environment and things around me, and I'm a planner. So I've
Me too.
really had
That's why I'm
to,
single.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, right? I mean, I don't know. So I've really had to learn to let things go, because you simply can't be in charge, be in control, be on top of everything all the time. It's exhausting. It doesn't work. And ultimately, you're just going to feel like, oh no, I failed because I wasn't able to control the situation, right? So Reiki really taught me a valuable lesson, that really that we don't have to control everything. We don't have to think about everything that we do. Other people, just let things be sometimes, and things kind of work out in a divine plan. I think that that's kind of like a leap of faith that you have to take. And like I said, it's hard for people like me initially. I'm just like, oh my God, how am I just going to leave this up to the universe? This is so difficult. No, I need to plan it. So I still do my groundwork. I still do my homework. I still do all the things that I would normally do. But then at some point, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. Right? I'm just going to let it be and let the universe take over. And it's amazing, because when you do that, when you kind of sometimes just let go, the universe takes over, and the universe will create even more amazing things than you could have ever created yourself or dreamt of. So it's quite amazing. In our modern world, I find that we've lost a lot of our spirituality. We've lost a lot of a lot of that mysticism that people used to be guided by in days gone by. So like now our gods are internet, social media, keeping up with this person, keeping up with that
Mm-hmm.
person, trying to keep up with the trends, or being a trendsetter, right? That's the thing these days. And I think that it's led to a lot of people not really looking inside themselves. So nobody really knows who they really are anymore. It's kind of just this external, I want to be beautiful. I want to be successful. I want to be a great TikToker. I want to, so people are so focused on impressing other people and being external, that they've kind of forgotten that it's amazing if you look inside what you can find. You're a treasure in yourself. You can really, really be, be a shining light in this world if you look inside and kind of light that flame. You don't have to always look to the outside.
Wow.
So yeah, so I mean, that's something that I reflect on a lot, because I see a lot of these young people, and it's always just a rat race. I want to be as thin as this person, or as beautiful as that person, or as rich as that person, or as awesome as that person. But actually, I mean, if you sit down and look at yourself, you're just as amazing as anybody else, if not more amazing. You just have to find that self-love and kind of look inside. I always say, look inside, dig deep. You'll find it. You'll find the beauty that's there.
Wow. So yeah, self-love in general and self-care, all those things that are important. So besides doing Reiki, being a Reiki master, you're also like, what's the word? I mean, you're giving us guidance. You are giving us guidance. It's like you're coaching, in a sense, someone's inner workings, which is true. It's so hard, especially the peer pressure in the teens nowadays, especially with the social media, of wanting to be and looking like this. And like, there's so many statistics, and I've seen it on the news about children who are adolescents, who are not doing well because they're harming themselves there was a story the other day about someone committing
Mhm.
suicide because
Yeah.
she was getting bullied on social media. And it's like, how does that happen? And it's like, how could I have helped? Sometimes family members don't see that. And so if we can work on each individual core, get it through to the parents, get it through to the children about you are good enough, you deserve to be loved enough, you deserve, it's self-esteem is a big issue today because there's so
It
much out
really
there
is.
and there's all those
Yeah.
filters and everybody looks fantastic, but everyone is putting their best self out there or their best fake altered self out there, and it's tricking our minds. It's really hard.
It is. It is. And I think it's really hard to be a teenager or to be an adolescent growing up in the world today, because there's just so much out there, and you're constantly, like I said, comparing yourself to other people. So I see a lot of younger people, I would say, because I enjoy their energy. I enjoy speaking to them, and I always enjoy trying to make their lives better, because I feel it's a fresh start for them. You don't want them to screw it up from early on and then be unhappy later. And I always say the most important thing is just love yourself. Don't constantly compare yourself to other people, because that's where the pitfall is going to come, right? So just love yourself. Learn to love yourself. I'm a big fan of teaching people to love themselves just exactly the way you are. I'm not saying that you can't be your best self, or maybe you have goals. Of course, everybody has goals. Go for the goals. Have the goals. Set your goals and put them in mind. Work towards them, but still love yourself and be kind to yourself. Don't be constantly putting yourself down. I did that to myself as a teenager. I remember, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not as pretty as that girl, and I'm not as smart as this other girl, and oh, that boy will, he doesn't like me because I'm not this and I'm not that. And I did that to myself constantly, and it was a battle to get to the point where I'm just like, you know what, I love myself. I really like
Yep.
myself the way I am, and I'm good with myself, and I'm just gonna move forward in the world with that in my mind, and that's it. And I think that it's very rewarding to teach that to young people, and I really work very hard to do that. I mean, even with my own kids.
I was going to say, how old are your kids again?
I have two daughters. One is 15, one is 12.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not on Instagram, they're not on Facebook, they're not on any of the social media platforms. But actually, it's not because I tell them not to be. It's just because they just don't want to be, because they're too busy living their lives. And I think
wow.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I'm always really proud of that. So my daughter asked me the other day, my eldest, she said, do you mind if I sign up for an Instagram account just so I can keep up, so I can not keep up, sorry, so I can talk to a friend of mine who's abroad and she's on Instagram. I said, sure, if you want to. She said, don't worry, I won't be looking at all the posts. I won't be comparing myself to other people. I'm past that. Don't worry about it. I said, well, good. I said, as long as it's something that makes you happy and it's something that, is comfortable for you, and you're not going to be constantly comparing yourself to this, that, or the other, then I'm really good with it. So I've worked really hard on that, and I'm kind of proud of where they're at in that sense. So I try to work with other kids as well, and other adolescents, and try to get them to the same point where they don't feel the need to be constantly accepted by peers, or comparing themselves to other people. To just really, I have this exercise I always tell people: listen to me, girls and boys, and do this. When you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, look deep into your eyes, and just say, I love myself. I am amazing. I'm going to have the most amazing day. I'm going to blow everybody away. Everybody's going to love me. It's going to be the most awesome day. And I literally have people standing in front of mirrors saying this to themselves.
I make
when
my
I work
kids,
with them.
My little boy, he's 4, and I make him go in the mirror, and he goes, and I say, you got to look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. So he goes in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I'm like, yes, feel it. You are beautiful. You're awesome. That positive.
See there, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement. Yeah. They got to learn to love themselves and to not compare themselves to other people. And through that, I think that we'll have a lot more happier kind of teenagers and adolescents and young adults who, who just feel much happier about themselves.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Fatima. Wow. Great conversation. Again, if you're just tuning in, let's remind them you're a Reiki master, you're a teacher as well. So you teach people how to do this. What is your website?
Yes. It's timadajani.com. So that's timadajani.com.
Perfect. We still have
Yeah.
8 minutes left. What else did you want
Mhm.
to share about Reiki today and how you could be of service?
Well, I think I've mentioned before about how you can use Reiki for everything, really. We
Yeah.
talked about end of life transitioning. We talked about pets. We talked about children, pregnancy. I mean, there's so many beautiful ways that you can use Reiki, right? And I just find, because I mean, I'm talking about my own personal experience that I did go through a lot of these things. I went through Reiki to me is kind of like a cocoon now, right? Because it's something that protects me and shields me because I would say psychically open. I was kind of exposed to a lot of negative elements when I was younger. That I found that when I got into Reiki, it helped protect me, kind of shield me from from
Mhm.
from those elements, and that's why I always look at Reiki as a blessing, as something that's a very positive influence in anybody's life. So I highly encourage people to, I always say, try Reiki at least once in your life, at least just once, whether it's distance Reiki or hands-on Reiki, try it and see, and then see how it goes for you. Like I said, it's a very personal experience. So some people go in and they're just like, yeah, this is not going to work, or this is going to be horrible. Like we don't even believe that you can do anything. What's all this about Reiki and the hands and energy? And then they get the Reiki and they feel so amazing and so different and so infused with good energy. And they kind of leave and they're like, wow. They were like, we don't even know what hit us. This is amazing,
Amazing. Wow.
And it has to be at the right time. It's all about divine timing.
True.
So yeah, I've had people who've come in, honestly speaking, and I've done all the work for them. I've done it all, and then they just look at me. They're like, we don't feel it." I'm like, "Okay, well, if you don't feel it, that's fine. I'm not going to be offended. It's probably just because the time isn't right for you. So when the time is right, you will definitely come back. You will definitely feel it, and it will work its beautiful work on you. So it'll happen just when the time is right."
Perfect. And again,
Yeah.
you mentioned for someone who's receiving a Reiki, wanted to try, or someone gives it as a gift, the one thing that's important, they have to be willing to receive, right? You said there's been times
Yes.
where you can actually
Hmm.
feel that you send someone Reiki, but they didn't get it. How does that process work? Because the
Yeah,
holidays are here. It's a great gift to help someone feel better. But what if
of
they choose
course.
not to accept it? Yeah, yeah. Explain it.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's all about consent, right? You're not, I mean, if some people maybe want to be helped, some people don't want to be helped, or they're not ready for it, it's just not the right time for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can feel it though. So a loved one will ask me, for example, can you send energy to my daughter? Can you send Reiki to my husband? So I'll send it, I'll do the work, but I'll tell them honestly. I'll be like, you know what? I don't feel that they were really willing to receive the energy. I feel that there's a block there. And so I'll tell them honestly, I don't think that the time is right. Maybe you should come back.
Yeah.
So some people are not ready. And I think that that's also fine, because everybody goes through stages. Everybody has, different things going on in their life. And some people are really ready to receive it and get into it, and get all the blessings and the benefits that you can get from Reiki. And some people aren't there yet, and that's totally fine. I'm very happy to change anybody's mind. So anybody who wants to chat with me about it, I'm really happy to do that. I do offer like a half-hour free session. So if anybody
Which is
wants to,
awesome, everyone. Not everybody does
yeah,
that. Really, a half hour, that's a lot because people can get a lot of benefit from that. I mean, it's a great time to see if you're a good fit and to see, but not everybody does that. So I commend you for doing that. I think it's important because why would
yeah,
someone want to invest in someone or something that maybe they realize isn't for me and a good fit? So that's
for
kind.
sure. Yeah. I think that the most important thing is being comfortable, finding your way, being happy. I mean, I like to see people happy. I like to see people moving forward in life in a happy and comfortable and beautiful way. So, if I can help them in any way, then that's a wonderful thing. I love it.
And by the way,
so
just to confirm this part again, you're able as a Reiki master to Reiki yourself. That's true, right?
yes, yeah, of course, yeah. Because Reiki 1 is where you learn how to do hands-on healing. So hands-on healing, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for anybody around you, sort of physically, right? Then you move on into like different levels, and then you learn how to do distance healing, and you move into the masters and all that. So yes, of course. And I constantly, I think I mentioned to you that I'm always a nervous wreck before these podcasts. I'm kind of like, sweating, and and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to be tongue tied. This is going to be horrible. I'm not going to be able to say a word. I know it. And then I kind of give myself Reiki, and I'm like, no, come on, calm down, Tima. You'll be okay. Things will work out. and it works out.
And what about putting this good Reiki spiritual energy into your food and water? Is that something you do? I've heard people do that. What does that do for you?
People do that. I know a lot of people who bless their food, bless their water. And I guess it's just a form of introducing Reiki into your everyday schedule.
Okay.
What I don't personally do that, just because honestly I don't have time. I'm a mom. I have so much to do, so I don't have time to be blessing my food and giving it Reiki and all that. But I do sometimes when I think we talked about house cleansing and putting positive energy into a space and clearing your space. So I do sometimes bless water, like regular water, put in some healing stones in it, some Reiki, and then I will spray it around the house that I'm working on. And that works beautifully. So,
right. And also,
so you can,
quick question. You're also a teacher. So you do one-on-one classes, or do you do group classes for people wanting to learn the craft?
Normally it's one-on-one, but it can definitely be a group class if there's a group of people who want to do it at the same time. The only thing is with Reiki and teaching it is that I think you have to physically be in the same place. That's one thing that you can't really do via distance, via distance healing. Yeah. So it would have to be somebody who's physically in the same place as you.
And where are you located again?
I'm in Toronto, Canada. So hence the snow.
All right. Well, Fatima Dajani, it's a pleasure having you here. Would you mind again sharing the best way for our listeners and viewers to reach out to you?
It's my website, which is timadajani.com. So timadajani.com. And like I said, I'm always happy to hear from people, reach out. And I have a lot to share about Reiki. Always happy to talk to you.
Great. Thank you so much. Really, it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to the next time we speak. And to all of our listeners out there, thank you. Stay tuned. More of the show is on the way. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.